Bought 3 today at the insurance auto auction in Athens, Alabama, and I thought it might be fun for us to keep track of what happens with these 3 beauties. So that'll be what we talk about on episode 161. So if you're wondering why I'm kind of out of breath and dressed shabbily, well, I'm dressed shabbily because that's usually how I dress when I take my many walks. And that's what I'm doing now. It's afternoon. Bought those 3 cars this morning on the insurance auto auctions online bidding. Have seen a total of 30 seconds of the motors running, and got to look at pictures of the outsides and the insides. So that's about what I know from them. The 3 vehicles are a 2008 Hyundai Accent. It's a 2-door hatchback with a manual transmission, about 160,000 miles on it. A 2003 Lincoln LS with the 6-cylinder. It says it only has about 88,000 miles on it. We'll see if that's real or not. And the third one is a 2005 Honda Pilot. It is the deluxe version with a nice leather interior. It looks pretty solid, and it's got 250,000 miles on it. So sound like it runs pretty well, but I know that there's something wrong with all 3 of them. I can't tell you exactly what yet. I'm hoping nothing, but you know, that's never the case. But I say there's got to be something wrong, but that's because I bought them cheap like I usually do. I think my purchase prices were, I'm trying to make sure I get this right, $650 for the Accent, $550 for the Lincoln, and $600 for the Honda. So pretty dirt cheap, but you know, with my fees, my auction fees, which auction fees I've told you over and over again are crazy expensive, but it's just the price of doing business. My total bill when I go pick them up tomorrow will be about $3,000, going to be about $3,100 to the auction before they'll release those to me. So that's what we got cooking, and we'll take a look at them tomorrow, and you'll get to see them when I get to see them, and we'll see what happens then. I purchased all 3 of these vehicles the same day at Insurance Auto Auction, which is a auction here in it's a big auction house. They're all across the country, but the one that I purchased from is my local shop. It's about 7 or 8 miles from me, so I can go and haul those vehicles myself, which I do. I could buy vehicles from them in their other locations and transport them, you know, pay to have them transported. It's something I'm considering doing, but that's an added expense depending on how far they're coming from. And the fact is, there's not a big difference because I bought these vehicles pretty much sight unseen, the same way as if I bought them out of Nashville or out of Mobile, Alabama, or St. Louis, Missouri, or wherever else they're at, except for I'd not having to pay for transport, because I've seen them run for 10 seconds. I did not see them in person. I could have gone in person and seen them. A lot of times I find that doesn't tell me very much, because most of the time I can't get them to start, because insurance auto auction doesn't allow you to bring a jump box in. And if the vehicle's not starting, you know, what are you going to do other than walk around? You can see some things, and that can be beneficial, and you can definitely get a better eyeball with your eyeballs than you can with the picture. But that being said, it's still not optimal, and I could see that it'd be possible to buy a vehicle in St. Louis and have it shipped over here for 200 bucks and be possibly a better deal than what I get locally. But that's not what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with vehicles that I bought here in Alabama, 7 or 8 miles away. But so I think they're about 7 or 8 miles away from my mechanic and about 12 miles from me. I look at all these things because I consider walking into places, and both of them are too far to walk out of the country because you get run over by a car. That's just information you don't really need to know, but that's the reality of it. So we bought all 3 of the vehicles. I told you I got a good prices on them. Average 600 bucks per vehicle, 650, 600, and 550, I think, respectively for the 3 vehicles. I'm going to go back to that. Some of you guys are probably not that familiar with auctions. There are live auctions, face-to-face auctions that you go to. That's what I participated in most of my flipping career. As a licensed dealer, I've gone to a live auction and purchased shoulder to shoulder with other dealers. There's a lot of auctions like this where, and there are also dealers who are competing with me at an auction like that are actually bidding online while I'm standing there in the lane, and that has gotten to be more and more competitive where we're bidding more and more against those online dealers at the live auction too. But this particular auction, Insurance Auto Auction in Athens, Alabama, is 100% online. There's nobody standing there. There's nobody. You don't hear an auctioneer. There is no auctioneer that I know of. You just you see the numbers going in front of you, and you make the bid. And you have to be a licensed dealer to bid here. I think they do have one operation, I think in Akron, Ohio, where they are open to the public. But so I'm mostly talking, at least for this, with dealers. I know there are dealers who work directly with non-licensed dealers and do some work there. I think it's probably borderline whether or not they're allowed to do that. That's something I've considered doing, working for a fee. But I'll tell you what, well, let me just give you an example. I don't know how you could really do that because the fees are already so high. So I buy a $600 car, I buy 3 $600 cars. That's $1,800. Basically, they were basically 3 $600 cars. And then when I go to pay for those vehicles, my bill was $2,929 for those 3 vehicles. So that makes my fees for those vehicles $1,129. And get the little calculator out here. 9 divided by 3 is $376 in fees for each $600 vehicle. That is a 62% fee, I believe. Let's see, 6 times. Yeah, 62% fee. I'm pretty sure that's right. If I'm wrong, correct me, send me an email tell me I'm a dummy, but I know it's a lot. It's a lot. And so if you are working with somebody like me and I'll say, hey, if you pay me $400 or $500, I'll help you find a car. Now you tack $400 or $500 onto that, and you're going to tow home something as is, where is, with an extra $376 plus the extra $500. Next thing you know, you've got a real uphill battle to get out of it. But if you are a licensed dealer, it is an opportunity, and I've done well at an insurance auto auction. I have come out ahead 90% of the time. I think maybe a little bit higher than 90% of the time, and I've come out significantly ahead in the end by buying, reconditioning, and reselling, and that's what we plan to do. So with that said, if you have any questions about auctions, about this type of stuff, feel free to reach out to me on email, flippingquestions@gmail.com, or go to the Car Flipping Forum on Facebook. You just go to Facebook, type in Flipping Genius, the first group that comes up in under groups. Step in under groups, go to the Facebook groups, type in Flipping Genius, and the first thing you'll see will be our Car Flipping Forum. You'll also see some other pages there, some other groups that are set up for you to sell your vehicles around the country through our groups. But the blue one, the one with the blue background, is our forum. It's free to join, and feel free to post your questions there if you're already a member. If you're not a member, just go there and click join, and have access to folks all around the country who are trying to do the same thing as you, and me, help you make more money. That's the #1 goal, Flipping Genius. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I could talk for a long time. There's 3 vehicles. Let's take a look at them. I'm going to show the first one on the screen here. Here's a 2008 Hyundai Accent 2-door hatchback, 157,921 miles. It runs and drives fine. Manual transmission, needs a new door handle and a mirror, which I got for less than $50 from Rock Auto. Good battery, okay tires, cold AC. Purchase price just $650. It should be a win. You saw on the pictures, it's a little dirty. If you get up close, you'll see, yeah, there's some wear on the paint, but not bad. We clean that up and do a little bit of touch-up paint. Do that stuff that I do around the windshield wipers, and paint the black parts black. Go inside with a little tough stuff. I'm back on tough stuff, by the way. I love that stuff. When we first started, it got bad, wasn't doing the trick, but tough stuff is something that I'll probably even post it on our resources page. Good stuff for cleaning up interiors on carpets. It seems to get into everything. I like that stuff. It's not very expensive, and you'll find it around. It's one of my favorite things to use again for doing some of the work that I hate doing, which is detailing. But I'm cheap. I'm selling cheap cars. I can't really afford all the time to pay somebody else to do it, so I'll do some of that, and we'll get that thing looking solid. I think the tires that are on it are acceptable. It's got a good spare. The battery seems solid. Starts right up. The clutch seems good. I don't see anything major wrong with it. I had estimated, I believe, that I was going to have to put $700 or $800 into it pre-auction, because that's what I do. I estimate what do I think I'm going to have to pay, which is crystal ball stuff, but that's how I do it, because how else are you going to do it when you see a car run for 10 seconds? That vehicle, I think, will sell for $3,000 when it's done. 2008, 158,000 miles. Clean it up well. Put a little gas in it. I think it won't take much to get a half tank of gas in it. That'd be a good selling point. Already has a half tank of gas, and I think somebody who's looking for a car to run back and forth to work and save some money on gas is going to give me $3,000 for that. So we got $650 in it, plus fees, about $1,100, I think. Plus Dennis probably going to hit me for. Hope he's not watching this, because he'll know what to charge me. But I went out. I wind up paying about $400 for repairs. So we have about $1,500. Let's say $1,700. I'm adding it up here. Let's say $1,800 after everything, including my overhead for my lot, my insurance. I tack a little on there. So I think I'm crystal ball, and that's going to bring me back $1,200 profit. I like that. I like that. That's a $1,200 return on what was a $600 vehicle for $650. That's great, but that's the thing. $650 vehicle turns into an $1,800 vehicle. So yeah, we're talking about 3 times our initial cost by the time we add up fees, expenses for repairs, overhead costs for cleanup, and other miscellaneous stuff. That's not unusual that in the end, that amount that you thought you were bidding turns into at least 2 and sometimes 3 times that amount. But the beautiful thing is, if you buy them right, money's there. So my projection on that first one, $1,000 to $1,200 profit. My goal was 1,000 when I bid. It always is. So I think we'll be ahead on that one. You got to get ahead sometimes because you don't hit them every time. So let's take a look at the second one on the list, and I'm going to go with the Lincoln LS. This is a 2003 Lincoln LS. It's a V6. It runs out well and shifts out well. There's a check engine light on it and a couple codes. The driver's door window needs to be repaired. It has virtually new tires and just 88,000 miles. This one should be a good one. Forgive me if you are viewing, if you are listening to the podcast. I'm trying not to be too visual because a lot of folks listen to the podcast, and I appreciate you so much. I want to tell you that all this stuff is available on our YouTube channel. Also, if you listen to Spotify, we do our podcast now on video, so you can see it on podcast. You can see the podcast on Spotify. You can go to the Flipping Genius YouTube channel and watch and you'll see everything I'm talking about in the pictures, including my beautiful face here, and my sparkling red shirt that says today it says "Got Grit" on it. I don't think you can see that, but it's a good Badger shirt. The so anyway, I apologize for talking about what you see so much when you're just listening, but that stuff's available. And if you go on our website, I'll put some pictures of the vehicles there too, in case you want to see them. Email me, flippingquestions@gmail.com. I'll be happy to send you pictures of what we're talking about if you want to see them. But it's easy enough to see the stuff otherwise. But I always look forward to hearing you by email anytime if you have any questions too. So the Lincoln LS, 2003 Lincoln LS. Now I was a little worried about this one. It's a 6-cylinder, and I've seen some problems with the 6-cylinder engine. I really like Lincolns. Lincolns have, I mean, personally, they're my favorite car. Mostly big Lincoln town cars are when I think of them. Now I like the big SUVs now too, but I don't think I've ever had one. I personally have owned a bunch of Lincoln town cars over many, many years, all the way back to I think the first one was a 77, just giant town coupe 2-door monster that you could break somebody's legs with, and you could stuff them in the trunk and nobody'd know they were there. Not that I did that, but it was a giant car, and I love that thing. And I had several Mercuries and other big cars back then, but the Lincolns were my favorite. Now this one's not so big. This is a reasonable sized car. I can't remember what it is comparable to in the Ford. It may be comparable to a Taurus. I'm not sure, but it's a Lincoln, and it's very definitely a Lincoln. And I was very pleasantly surprised when I got to see this one. I saw it online before I bid on it, of course, and I thought it looked solid. And they told me it had 87,000 miles on it, I think, which you kind of doubt. When you're bidding on something like this. And they weren't telling me who was the seller. The first seller was Title Max, which I buy a lot from Title Max. You've heard that jingle, "Get your title back from Title Max." Well, I'm the one that gets the title back. I've said that joke so many times. This one wasn't telling me who the seller was, and as it turns out, it was a donation vehicle, which I like most of the time. And as I look at the vehicle, I'm guessing, because I haven't done any research on it, I'm guessing that it belonged to, Grandpa or something. It really does have only 88,000 miles on it. It's got relatively almost brand new tires on it, matching tires. That's always a good thing. Got a new spare in the trunk. It has good carpet. Has nice seats. It looks like 88,000 miles inside and pretty much out, except for it's been sitting in a yard someplace for however long it took before they got the title clear and they were ready to sell it. Sometimes a vehicle like this is donated,
and then the donator doesn't come up with a title, so it sits there for a while. And that might have been the case with this one. It's a little got a little bit of grunge on it from sitting outside, but not bad at all. And the body looks solid, good looking wheels, nice looking dash, nice looking everything works, except for right now the wheels are the windows and the door locks are not working, but that's because the driver's door has been disassembled because I believe the uh, the window regulator in that door is broken, and somebody jimmied it up with a 2x4, put the window in place, and I'm guessing, I don't think the original owner did that. I think the original owner may be, either deceased or in a nursing home or something. Um, and somebody jimmied that up and they just wanted to get rid of it. They got rid of it, and now I've got it, and I got it for $550. Now it's going to cost a little money to get those windows and doors straight. Going back to the Hyundai, there's a door issue too that I talked about it, but that's included in all that fix up. Um, I saw check engine light was on the Lincoln. I didn't run codes on it. It runs great. I didn't see anything wrong with the running. Um, but we'll figure that out. I don't think it's going to be anything major. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that we'll be able to fix that Lincoln for. I'm just calculating in my head. I say $400 is probably pretty reasonable estimate. Everything front to back, mechanical, uh, charge the air conditioning if it's not working. I think it was working though. Get the check engine light turned off, whatever that is. Yeah, I'm saying let's say 500. Let's say $500, 500 plus the 550 plus the fees. So we're at about $1,400 there. Throw another 250 on it. So call it about $1,700. So we're about $1,700 on that one. Um, like I mentioned, I'm still playing in my mind that this might be my new daily driver. As much as I love my Suzuki Grand Vitara, I do love Lincolns too. It's an older car, 2003, but it's got some good looks. But let's take that off the table because I can't keep every car. I don't have that big of a place here. Um, and I'm thinking that car is going to be one that's going to sell for a little bit more than uh, my typical sale is right around private party good price. Kelly Blue Book private party good price. I usually sell stuff pretty cheap and move it fast. I think that this one, the condition, the miles that are on it, I believe it's going to sell for $3,300. I think pretty easy. Somebody will probably tell me I'm crazy because some of you will tell me I'm crazy because I'm too low, and some of you will tell me I'm crazy because I'm too high. If you finance this car, you're probably looking at $5,000. Uh, and we'll consider, but let me say $3,300. By the way, talking about financing, I've got some new contacts that may come on and talk to us about some in-house financing that we can do. Could be exciting for guys like me, small guys that want to look for other ways to make sales. Um, I shy away from it because I really don't like car payments, but I know some of you guys are probably looking for that information. So hopefully we'll get some people to come on and at least share the information for you and give you some insight on how that could be a revenue generator. $3,300. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to sell that Lincoln for at the end, and I think we're going to have $1,700 in it. That leaves me a $1,600 profit. I'm going to back up and I'm going to say that I throw $200 away on something stupid, like being too soft-hearted and negotiating too good of a price, which that makes me another $1,400. Not 1,600, but $1,400. I think will be the profit on the second car there. We'll see. We'll see how close we are when we get to the end of it. We're going to have a follow-up of this and take a look at the end. I'm going to take a little break here, and then when we come back, we'll look at the third one, the Honda. The number one goal of Flipping Genius is to help you make more money. Become a flipping team member or a flipping partner today. Learn more at flippinggenius.com. Okay, the third vehicle is the best looking of the three, without a doubt. Really a nice looking 2005 Honda Pilot. It's a 2005 Honda Pilot. It's got V6 four-wheel drive, leather interior with a third row seat. It appears to be solid. It's got 250,000 miles, but hey, it's a Honda. It needs two tires, a battery, and one of the seats patched, but I bought it for $600, so it should be a win. It does have high mileage, 250,000 miles, which are a lot of miles even on a Honda. It's got the V6 engine, four-wheel drive. It does have third row seating, leather seats. All the seats look good with the exception of the seat portion of the driver's seat. Kind of excited about this because I've been looking for an opportunity to do leather patching, something I've seen done, and I think I just popped in my head just now. We're gonna try that out because I think I can patch that leather seat and make it look just about like new. And the rest of the leather looks great. The dash looks good. The headliner looks good. It's a Honda, and everything works on it that I could tell, but I didn't get it started yet. But I heard it running on the 10-second video, and this one also, as it turns out, by way of a couple other twists, came to me from Title Max. So I not that Title Max are the best in the world, but usually I feel pretty good about them because I know I'm not usually buying them from another dealer who's hiding something and getting over on me. That's always my fear. 'Cause, there's a lot of you guys are a lot smarter than me, as you know. So the tires look pretty solid all the way around. A couple of them were flat, but they took air, and they looked like they held the air. But I'm going to probably have to replace a couple tires. I wouldn't doubt this realistically. I probably will get into some repairs on this one because it wasn't running, and I don't know what it's going to take there. So the good news is I bought it for $600. With the fees and everything, we're right at about $900, $950. I am gonna guess on this one that I'm gonna be into it for uh another $800. So 1,750 is what I'll have into it, which is probably pretty close to what I was guessing, back when I was looking at the thing. I'm going to bump another 150 on that. I'm going to say $1,900. And I'm just talking off the top of my head. Those of you who are watching me, you see my process here. Maybe you can see my brain muscles moving or something. But this is pretty much how I do it. I've been doing the car flipping for a while, and I know what Dennis charges me for stuff. I've had at least a half dozen Honda Pilots. I really like them a lot. I know they're not the best Hondas, but they're good Honda. They're Hondas, and I like that. I could be completely wrong and come in with something major. We don't know that yet, so I'm just talking off the top of my head this right now. We'll find out how close I am after we talk to Dennis next week. So let's say $1,900. I got into that vehicle. That vehicle all repaired and looking like I know it's going to look because it's going to look really good and running right. And I believe that's a $3,800 vehicle all day long, all day long. So that's a $1,900 profit. That's pretty aggressive. But I'm just going to throw it out there and say I think I get that $1,900 profit on that one. So I'm putting throwing them out there. You know what I said. I'll write them down so I know what I'm talking about. It's a good looking vehicle. If I haven't shown you pictures yet, I'll show them right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Really a nice looking vehicle, and I feel good about that. So those three vehicles one day, boom. That was a good one. That was a good one. Sometimes you come up empty a lot when you're buying vehicles this way. So it's fun when you hit a good lick like this. So all three vehicles are now at Dennis Johnson Auto Repair here in Madison, Alabama. And Dennis and Gary are over there plotting to figure out how to get me to pay them a couple nickels. They're always really good to me, frankly. They treat me so well considering how little money I actually honestly give them, and they help me put vehicles together, and they even help me put deals together because they know that I'll treat people right, and they treat people right. If you happen to be in my area, Dennis Johnson does a fantastic job. I highly recommend him, and I have over and over and over again. You know that. So when we come back, either next episode or an upcoming episode, you'll see it'll be a follow-up to this one. And we'll take a look at where we're at, and we're going to walk our way through this stuff and see how these things come out the other end, so you can see what we do here in right here in Harvest, Alabama, at the Middleman Enterprises operation. It's a lot of fun, and I thought this might be a good way to really put it out there. I hope that this helps some of you as we walk through it. If nothing else, you can see you can do it too. I really believe that's one of the main things. One of my main goals, Flipping Genius, is showing you that if I can do it, you can do it. You got to take some chances, but you've got to take educated chances, logical decisions of buying vehicles that make sense, and that's what we're trying to do today. So if you have any questions, feel free to write me, flippingquestions@gmail.com, or reach out to me on the Car Flipping Forum. If you want to see everything Flipping Genius, go to our website, flippinggenius.com with 1G, and subscribe to our email. I don't bug you a lot with email because I don't like to get bugged a lot with email. But if you want to talk to me, feel free to talk to me, and I will answer you as soon as I can. Usually pretty promptly, unless I'm doing something really fun and don't look at the email for a while. I try not to make that a case. If you'd like to come on and tell your story on Flipping Genius, we would love to have you. And we've had some great guests recently, and I look forward to having more guests like you come and tell about your successes, about your failures, about your challenges, about whatever. If it relates to our folks, and I think it can help our subscribers, our listeners make more money, I would love to have you tell your story. If you are interested in partnering with us in any way, as a flipping partner, as a flipping team member, as a flipping champion, or any other way, as a subscriber to the podcast, anything that you can do to help us, we really appreciate. And I believe that if you help us in a way that gets us helping you, you're going to make more money, because nothing else, I'll feel guilty about it. I'll keep working until you make more money. And I'd love to be part of your team with you being part of my team. So check us out, flippinggenius.com. You can see all the information there. Remember, we've got a resources page with great things that we recommend. I don't know if you saw the pictures, but you saw me using that DeWalt air pump / battery jump / battery charger. That's a great little tool. Really like that tool. That alternator checker. And I've got that posted on the resources page. And other things that I use that I think can benefit you. We do get a little affiliate commission off some of those things. That can be beneficial. Please support us if you can. Check out the resources page. We've got a lot of other stuff cooking, and all 161 episodes of Flipping Genius, all the videos are all available from the website, flippinggenius.com. Share us with your friends. Come back often. Subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you don't miss anything on there. And let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses. The number one goal of Flipping Genius is to help you make more money. Become a flipping team member or a flipping partner today. Learn more at flippinggenius.com.